I don't want to spoil the conversation because we just started, but one of the solutions in the book Misbelief that you write is that we have to nurture resilience in our lives. We have to ask ourselves, how can we get out of this challenge that we're living? And I think that your story and how you've been coping, or putting like a Superman mode in your story and saying like, this is me, I'm not hiding myself. It's just you're walking your talk. And so I think that's very important to highlight, and I appreciate that, because a lot of us, in our ways, we also face those kinds of challenges. I mean, I'm not comparing, of course, but what I'm saying is it's encouraging to see that, while life can throw us a huge curveball, we can get a big swing like Babe Ruth in our ways. We can do that. So, Professor, you also...
So let me just say something about resilience.
Yes.
Resilience is really kind of one of the most important superpowers that we have. It's about how much faith do we have that if something will go wrong, somebody would catch us, and that we will be able to bounce back. And I think sadly, resilience is going down because communities are becoming less supportive, because inequality is getting higher, because we spend less time with people and so on. But it's a huge topic for society. But we there's a million things to talk about, but I do want to. You mentioned in the opening a little bit about the book Misbelief. Yes. So I want to go back a little bit and say a little bit about how I started on this journey of misbelief.
Yes.
So I'm a social scientist and I do research. And then COVID is just starting. Think about early 2020. And I feel that I'm the most useful I've ever been. I get calls from different people, from different governments, different institutions, companies, and people have questions. Distant education, remote work, releasing prisoners, domestic violence, how to pay people when they are on furlough. Endless amount of questions. And I do my best to help as much as possible. I do nothing else, just COVID-related, trying to help people figure out things. And then sometime in July, so, we're a few months into it, I get an email that says, Dan, how did you become like this? What happened to you? And I say, what happened to me? And I get a long list of links. I'll describe just one of them. In that link, it shows pictures of me in hospital, very sad pictures. It says I was burned with 70% of my body and spent 3 years in hospital. But then it says that made me hate healthy people. And that's why I joined the cabal, Bill Gates and the Illuminati, trying to kill as many healthy people as possible. Not true, by the way. And there were many other links with not the same message, but all of them made me a villain. And my first instinct was to call these people and talk to them. My second instinct was to call some friends and ask them for advice. And I called some friends who are expert in social media, and they all said the same thing. Don't touch it. Don't talk to these people. Don't touch it. But I was very proud. I called these people for advice. I'm sad to say I couldn't take their advice. There's something about somebody hates you so much and you feel that they are holding wrong information. I had to call them. I had to talk to them. So the next month, I talked to many people. I called people. I talked on meetings. I joined podcasts. I talked on the phone. Some people came to meet me personally, and I failed miserably. That was a month of failure, of failing, helping anybody understand my perspective. Instead, things just got worse and worse and worse. People hated me more and more. At the end of that month, I gave up. I'm a slow learner. It took me a month, but I gave up. And I decided that I'm going to try and study misbelief. I'm going to try and study, because, it's one thing to know, oh, some people believe in QAnon, some people believe the earth is flat. It's very easy to, what's happening. Yeah. But when I talk to somebody and they say to me something about me, and I know that that's not true, and no matter what data I give them and show them, I show them my calendar, I can't convince them. That's very eerie. It's very hard to say, how can you talk to somebody? And they say something about you, and you say, not true, and you can't convince them. So I spent the next 2 years in some of the darkest corners of the internet, trying to understand what is going on. And this book is really an explanation of the psychology of misbelief. How can it be that people out there, that 5 years ago we would have said, we all see the world in the same way, and now we look at them and we say, I don't understand, where are you coming from? How, something inside is broken, how can you not? It turns out something inside is not broken, and there are reasons for why they end up believing that. And the first starting point of the book is to understand that we shouldn't discount those people, and we shouldn't discount their beliefs. They come to fulfill a real need. Nobody wakes up in the morning and say, I'm going to start believing the earth is flat today, or I'm going to stop believing in healthcare or whatever. There are reasons for that, not good reasons. Good psychological reasons to the beliefs that they are adopting.